the stage right now?
Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of hard work and sacrifice pay off. I've always kept the same approach: just play for my teammates and do whatever it takes to win the baseball game that day. So just keeping that rolling.
Go 2 rows behind to Jeff.
A lot of the media has dubbed the Toronto Blue Jays the Glue Jays. Is that one of the greatest compliments too?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great nickname. I think it's just a great collective effort with everybody that's on our roster and that's been on our roster. It's everybody pulling in the same direction and keeping the boys rolling. It's awesome.
Right up front in the first row, Ernie.
Ernie, good to see you. It's Maury from the Roz and Mocha Show. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good, thank you. So the last, many weeks when there's home games and we're at the Rogers Center, the crowd goes nuts. There's this massive roar. When you're here for the next 3 days, there's not as much of a roar when you're the visiting team. Will you miss the roar? Does the roar fuel you?
Yeah, the energy that our fans bring it's a huge piece of the puzzle for this team, and we've enjoyed playing at home for the last couple months, and it's just been so cool to see all the people show up and support us. But it'll be a little different atmosphere out there today.
And right behind the last question.
Ernie, congratulations on the Gold Glove finalist. You're nominated in 2 positions, utility and third base. What has it mean to you to work with guys like Andres Jimenez, Bo Bichette, and how much of that work has put you in this position?
Yeah, it's been great. You mentioned Andres. He's, I think the best defender in the world. And Bo Bichette works his tail off and has gotten so much better over the last few weeks, few months, and few years. I've gotten to watch him just grow turning into a really, really solid defender, and it was cool to see him come back and play second base and do a great job for us. You learn a little bit of something from everybody. Everybody's a different baseball player in their own right, so I've picked little pieces from everybody. It's been awesome.
The third row across the aisle, Mike.
Hey, Ernie. We've heard from you guys about your confidence in each other. We've heard from sort of the national media about how you guys are kind of unknown. I don't know if you heard, but back in the first round, I think at some point when you were having that big day against the Yankees, someone said, Ernie Clement, nobody's ever heard of this guy. How do you react to that level of underdoggedness of people just being surprised to find out about the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I think it's great. I've been overlooked a lot over the course of my career, so that's nothing new there. So I don't mind that one bit. And when you fly under the radar and you play really, really well, people start to pick up on it. But yeah, I'd rather be under the radar. I think it's great, and I'm used to it.
And what do you think about being here for the World Series in this historic place, one of the oldest stadiums in the game, and it's so much, Dodger history? Yeah,
I'm a big baseball history guy. I absolutely just love that part of the game. And, when you get to play in, at Boston and Fenway Park and Wrigley and all these old stadiums, there's just so much cool baseball history that's happened over the, course of, time. And I'm honored to be a part of that. And you don't take a second for granted out there on these really cool, just baseball places. I'm really excited to get out there.
Stay there with Gabe.
Hey, Ernie. Your ability and your team's ability to make contact is certainly both pretty well above league average. From your perspective, is that something that you've fostered at earlier levels of baseball, or is it something that can be taught, developed, and nurtured at the highest level of the game?
Yeah, that's always been a strength of mine. And, there's been times throughout my career where, I've had people tell me, oh, we want you to, hit for more power and all this stuff getting away from my strengths. And over the last few years, I've realized that I need to lean into those strengths. And, I've kind of just gone all in on the contact thing. So I think it works for a lot of guys. And I think it's no accident that our front office and our coaches have, put together a team of guys who can make contact. So it's something that we've bought into, and it's turned into our team identity and our offensive identity. So, I think we're going to continue to lean into that.
Fifth row on your left, Tyler.
Ernie, you may have answered it in that question somewhat, but what has it been about Toronto these last 3 years that's been able to help you establish yourself, whereas Cleveland and I know Oakland briefly just didn't see something in you?
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, I wish I would have played a little bit better for those two previous teams. Cleveland, I got drafted by them. I love that organization. I love the people there. I wish I had taken done better with that opportunity. And then Oakland, it just didn't really work out. It wasn't the right fit. I can't blame them. I didn't exactly play great. So it was a chance for me to get some perspective and kind of look myself in the mirror and say, all right, what do I need to do better? How can I, not let an opportunity pass if I get another one? And I just, like I said, I looked in the mirror and made some changes, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity I've gotten here in Toronto. It's everything I could have, really ever asked for. So, I owe it to them to give it my all and prove them right for giving me an opportunity.
Far back on your right, Ernie. Jesse.
Ernie, I want to ask you a couple questions about Vlad. What's most impressive watching him at the plate? And is there a quintessential kind of Vlad anecdote that you can share that comes to mind?
Yeah, I think he's just such a great hitter. I mean, obviously, like, everybody wants the home runs and wants him to hit, 40 to 50 home runs. But I think his game is to just be a great hitter first and foremost. So I think he's really, leaned into that this postseason. He's had 5 or 6 home runs, yeah, but I mean, the average is ridiculous, and it seems like he's just hitting the ball hard every single at bat. So it's been fun to watch and fun to be a part of. So I think we just really have to enjoy what he's doing.
Joe, right in front of the camera.
Ernie, your success has been aggressive by nature. Obviously, at the plate, Yamamoto is very different than Glasnow tonight. Does that change for you, or same old Ernie?
Yeah, it doesn't change for me. It doesn't matter who's on the mound. I'm gonna do my thing, and obviously, you look at the scouting reports and see what they're good at. But I've learned to just lean into what I'm good at, and just stay true to that, and let everything else kind of take care of itself. Obviously, Yamamoto was amazing the other night, and Glasnow is pretty darn good too. So we got to have some good approach and get after it.
In the back right corner, Julian.
Ernie, in addition to you all's bat-to-ball skills, there's been a lot of talk about bat speed. I'm curious, is that something as a team that you guys trained for collectively this year to get to the point, and how much do you think that is a part of success?
Yeah, I think, the harder you swing, the harder you're going to hit the balls, obviously. So that's something that, we monitor, and, our hitting coaches are constantly looking at and seeing, where we're at. There's different ways, whether it's in the off season or during a season, where you can kind of keep those numbers up, as you kind of wear down throughout the season. It's normal to, kind of have that fluctuate, but it's something that we monitor, and I think, anybody can, work on swinging a little bit harder.
How do you increase bat speed?
Just having a conscious mind of it and trying to swing the bat harder, I guess. There's different, tools you can use to work on it, but it's something that I think I will definitely, work on and benefit from.
2 rows behind the camera in the middle, Shy.
Hey, Aaron. If you go back to the end of 23, when you'd made some of the changes with Matt Haig and you came up and started having success, the way you were hitting then compared to what are you doing now, has there been much change? How would you describe the changes from that point to where you are today?
Yeah, Matt Haig, one of the best hitting coaches I've ever had. I love the guy. He kind of got me back on my feet in Buffalo in 2023 after I got, DFA'd and released. And he was one of the guys that wanted me to lean into my strengths, and which is contact. And, he never was like, hey, we want you to hit more home runs. That was never something that he told me. He was like, just be you. And, something that he always tells us is just go be athletic in the box. And what that tells me is, like, don't have a whole lot of thoughts going on. Just go in there and and try to get your best swing off. So, the less I'm thinking about when I'm hitting, the better. And that's something I've definitely benefited from.
Sorry, Ernie. Fifth row straight ahead, Bob.
Mike, just a quick follow. And now, are you similar to that? Have there been further adjustments since? How would you describe where you are now compared to that then?
Yeah, since then it's just a lot of minor adjustments. It's nothing big. It's, daily adjustments, in-game adjustments, but nothing crazy. It's just, little things that have maybe tweaked along the way, but pretty much the same intent that I had back then.
Go to Bob in the fifth row.
Ernie, I was wondering how many tickets you have to end up leaving for tonight's game and these 3 games in L.A., and what was it like last night seeing old friends and family?
Yeah, it's been awesome. The support, back home and with my buddies and all my family has been pretty amazing to see. So, I'm very appreciative of that. But the trip out to L.A. is not nearly as easy as it is from, Rochester, New York to Toronto. So I think I still have my, 4 to 6 tickets or whatever I'm leaving for my immediate family. But I won't have all the Bills Mafia showing up in L.A., I don't think.
Stay in the same row, Ernie.
Hey, Ernie. You guys have a lot of players who came over mid-season and have made some big contributions, like Shane Bieber and Sir Anthony Dominguez, Varland. What's the challenge like for guys like that to come into a new team, and then how do the players already established in the clubhouse kind of help them get acclimated and ready to contribute?
Yeah, I think you have to give some credit to the front office there. They didn't just get really, really good baseball players. They got really, really good people who fit right in the locker room. It felt like all those guys came over and just fit right in immediately. It's been a pleasure having every one of them, and they've been just awesome.
2 rows behind the last one, Mitch.
Hey, Ernie, forgive me for going back to Oakland and Cleveland again, but just getting DFA'd and obviously having tough days of your career then, how does that help you kind of appreciate or kind of play loose in this stage?
Yeah, it just goes back to all the failures and the learning that I've had to do over the last, however many years. And every one of those failures has taught me a lesson, and I've really learned from all that and just found what works for me. So, if none of that happened, I definitely wouldn't be the baseball player or the man I am today.
Fifth row on your left, Tyler.
Ernie, you talked earlier about how much you enjoy baseball history and being part of it. Max is a big part of baseball history. What have you learned about him that maybe you didn't know beforehand? Everybody knows him, but knowing him as a teammate, what have you learned?
Yeah, I've learned just how fun he is to be around. When you watch him on TV and watch him compete, you see this fiery edge that, nobody wants to mess with. You don't want to come across a guy like that, in battle. But being on his team, I've found that he is just an awesome guy. He's turned into a really good buddy of mine, and he is hysterical. I mean, his humor is amazing, and I didn't have that. I really couldn't have had an opposite. He's just hysterical, man. I can't even begin to tell you. The guy is just awesome to be around.
Do 2 last quick ones, Ernie. Steve,
Ernie,
in the third row.
could you tell us in as many details as you can what it was like, all the circumstances, the first time you met Don Mattingly? What was going through your mind? What you were thinking? Did you feel like a little boy? All that stuff.
Yeah, I just thought about my dad immediately because he was we were such big Yankees fans growing up, and I heard all the stories about, Donnie baseball and him being a captain of the Yankees, and, guys like that are just legends in the game of baseball. So, 1, to meet him was pretty cool, and then 2, to go to work with him every day and just see all the cool experiences that he had in our game. And it's been an honor to play for him and be around him, and I get to throw all my throws to first base, and he's catching them in practice and stuff. So it's just been really cool. He's a legend in our game.
You feel sort of like a little boy sometimes when you meet someone that you've known about you don't feel like a mature baseball player. Talk about that.
Yeah, I guess. I'm pretty starstruck, with a lot of the old timers that you see. Not that he's that old, obviously, but it's just anytime you meet someone who's had the kind of success that he's had, it's really special and something you shouldn't take for granted, because having that kind of success in this game is not easy to do. So for him to do what he did for as long as he did, it was really cool to meet him and continue to be around him.
I'll finish up with Mike.
Ernie, given the closeness of the team and how everybody bands together and loves each other, when you hear George get booed, and not like when he was hurt in Seattle, but just regular booing, I guess, and one would think it's going to be particularly vicious here in LA. Does that motivate you guys? Does it do anything at all?
Yeah, when he gets booed, I usually boo as well. Every time we hear the boos, I'm up on the top step of the dugout booing him and telling him he sucks, and then he'll hit a home run and he shuts everybody up. So it's just special to watch him, especially on this stage. He just continues to do it over and over again. And yeah, I remember watching that Houston and Dodgers World Series, and those were some of the best World Series games ever. They were just so exciting, and he just continues to get it done on the biggest stage. It's cool to be a part of.
All right, Ernie, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck tonight.
Alrighty.
John Schneider will be down at 2:30. who's got the first question? We'll start in the way back on the left, John.
Hi, John. Thanks. Listen, I don't want you to sound like a broken record for the ability of this team to bounce back. Just wondering if there's any player in the room, or is it just a collective effort that the guys are able to turn the page? Is there someone that's mostly responsible for that, or is it just a bunch of guys who know what to do?
A little bit of both. I think, when you talk about kind of standards that you set, starts with the leaders, and George has done a good job, Max has done a good job, Vlad's done a good job, kind of talking through their experiences of being in this situation, whether you're down 2, up 3 games, and kind of how to navigate it. And everyone kind of just follows suit, I think. But there's also something to be said about, I think, just the character of the guys, each and every one of them. So it's cool to watch. They kind of just move on to the next thing. They really, I've said before, it's almost unbelievable, but I'm at the point where it's definitely believable because they just continue to do it.
Third row on your left, Mike.
Hey, John, speaking of the bounce back thing, you guys have worn out tons of elite starting pitchers all season long. Every once in a while, they're going to do what they do, like Yamamoto did the other day. How do you do your best to make sure that it doesn't happen twice?
Every pitcher is different. Every game is different, and you never really know if someone's going to have a performance like that or if someone's going to have a performance that's the exact opposite from either side. I think you make adjustments from the game and you try to prepare accordingly on what you think is going to be the play tonight from Glasnow, and you keep adjusting as the game goes on. But every pitcher is different. Every pitcher offers a different challenge and a different way to attack them. So, again, this game is totally different than game 2. We're not worried about Yamamoto. I don't think he's pitching today, so I hope he's not. But it's totally different every single day.
And I asked Ernie about the booing of George Springer and whether it's a galvanizing thing for the team. He said he gets up and boos too, and then George shuts everybody up. But as much as you've heard George get booed in all your stops, especially out west, one would think it's going to be a lot harder, a lot worse tonight than it's ever been given the history. Are you prepared for that? Is he, and do you think it's something that can galvanize the team?
I know he's prepared for it. He's been dealing with that for a long time. It kind of is what it is. I think me, the manager in me, I probably get more mad than he does, because you always have this protective mode of your players. But I don't think it can galvanize a team. I don't think that it will directly affect what anyone is doing. And I don't think it's going to affect anything George is doing. George is arguably one of the best World Series performers in the history of the game. So I think that fans, they show their opinion and emotion, that's fine, and George has an unbelievable ability to keep himself focused and present on what he's doing.
Up front on your right, John.
John, always great to see you.
Likewise.
Maury from the Roz and Mocha Show. Let's talk about the word world and World Series. You look at both sides, there's representation from all around the world, and how cool is that it really is the World Series?
That is, we've thought about that. That's pretty cool. When I think you have the last 2 teams standing that are made up of such a unique group of people, both sides, not just players. You look at staffs and support staffs and kind of where all these people are from, you know what I mean? And then baseball can just unite you, you know what I mean? It's really cool. And I think that it's very fitting that, these 2 teams in particular are playing in the World Series. This is the collection of the best players in the world right now. And hopefully we're the last one standing, right? But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see this kind of collection of players.
Fourth row on your left, John. Jeff?
Bo Bichette's back in the lineup today. Very impressive playing second base. Good glove, good arm, looked good at the plate. Is running and speed kind of the only concern left, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's kind of, it's that and it's like game volume, you know? It's like he missed 7 weeks, so I think just playing will help him kind of get his feet underneath him a little bit and gain a little bit more confidence as he goes with everything the game is going to, ask him to do. So I think as this series goes, you'll probably see him feel a little bit more comfortable when it does come to running and just kind of the overall stamina of the game.
You got a kick out of talking to Max in Game 4 in Seattle. I assume you haven't talked to him today, and will you have security when you talk to him today, later on?
You know what's funny is he's still approachable. I think there's a certain cutoff point, but I talk to him every day. I've said this to you guys, like since spring training, like I kind of always keep a few minutes aside in my day because Max is probably coming into my office about something. But even on days he pitches, he's communicating with me how he feels, what he's trying to do, certain spots of their lineup, and then when the game starts, you can still talk to him in between innings. But I hope I don't have to make a mound visit today, it's again, if I do, I do. But I think that over the course of this year and this postseason, you're always learning how guys are going to respond. So I don't think I'll need security if I do have to go out there.
6 rows back on your right, Gregor.
John, Max looked a lot better against the Mariners than he did throughout much of September. Why do you think that was, and how much of a factor was that in deciding to start him today instead of Game 4?
Yeah, I think he's in a better spot physically, than he was probably the last month of the regular season, and able to finish some pitches a little bit more. Physically, not arm or thumb. I think just kind of overall, he's had a stiff neck and things like that. So I think having some time to get that in the right spot has helped him. And deciding on him, I think, where are you physically? Where are you in terms of rest? And who do you want in a situation where there's going to be hoopla, bells and whistles, ceremonies, all that kind of stuff, and who's pitched in this stadium before. So it made a lot of sense that he was the guy.
Up front on your left, Ron.
During this month-long run, any unexpected celebs reach out to you with words?
Celebs. Not that I can think of. It's more so. I'm trying to think. Celebrities? No, I'm not. I'm not that popular. You know what I mean? I'm not that cool. It's more so people that I've grown up with, or people that I stay in touch with that want to just offer their support. But I don't know. I'll share my number with someone cool. If it's Brad Paisley, like you can shoot me a text. That'd be cool.
Anyone who you'd lost contact with for a number of years reach out for your life?
No, not really. No, it's been kind of the people that I try to surround myself with. Whether it's I haven't talked to you in a couple years and I grew up with you, you're still part of my life, but no one's kind of come out of the woodwork trying to say, hey, can I get tickets, or hey, whatever. It's been pretty normal.
The second row on your left.
Hey, John. Can you talk about what Ernie Clement has meant to your team all season long, and also specifically what he's meant in the postseason?
Yeah, Ernie kind of personifies us. I think understands what he's good at, competes every single day, and just loves the game. He just loves playing. He loves competing. I've joked he loves competing when he golfs. He loves competing when he's playing ping pong. It's just kind of who he is. What he's done this postseason has been pretty fun to watch. Because he's obviously been given nothing over the course of his career, and he's turned himself into a really good major league player, and rightfully so, with some of the accolades that he's received. So it's fun to watch guys kind of slow things down. And I think you guys all saw kind of how emotional he was after Game 7. But to kind of just take that out and play his game is just really cool to watch.
Far back in the right corner, Julian.
John, in addition to you guys' bat-to-ball skills, there's been a lot of talk about bat speed. How much do you think that's a contributing factor?
I do. I think the whole industry kind of started looking at that last year, and with more public knowledge of it, public information of it. I think when guys are throwing as hard as they are, you got to combat it somehow, whether it's with bat speed or mechanics, right? So Pop and Lou and Hunter have talked about it quite a bit. We track it a lot every day and show guys kind of the day after where their bat speed was that day compared to where it has been, whether it's an improvement or a decline, you know. So I think being aware of it is really important too. But with the stuff this league is featuring, you gotta be able to put some bat speed out there too.
And how are some of the ways that you guys try to increase bat speed?
There's certain drills, there's certain pieces of equipment, you know what I mean, that you can use, and it goes back to the off season. You know, the guys start trying to improve that in the off season, and it's hard to do during the year because you're playing every day. But it's not a set thing like, hey, take 10 swings with this bat every. You know, it kind of varies guy to guy. But I think the fact that anything that you can measure and track, I think, is important. So then you can give feedback to the guys kind of in real time. So it's a variety of things that they do.
About 3 rows behind the camera.
Hey, John. Dodger Stadium, obviously one of the most storied places in sports. Can you talk about the experience of leading a team to play here and what you're hearing from the guys about this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be thrilled to be anywhere, you know, and I think when you're talking about the World Series, biggest stage this game has to offer, it's pretty cool that the visiting park we get to come to is this, you know. This is, everything is big here, you feel like, you know, speakers are loud, field is big, it's kind of set up by itself. It's kind of what you want to do, you know what I mean? This is the environment you want to be in, and if you're trying to achieve the ultimate goal. So I think the guys are approaching it like, they're trying to approach it like another game. You know, I think it was nice that we played here this summer, albeit for 3 games. So you're a little bit familiar with how the field plays, what the backdrop is like, things like that. But I think it's great that you get to come to a venue like this against a franchise like this.
Steve and then Gabe to finish up. Steve?
John, could I ask you to go back to your childhood and what was your, at least imaginary relationship with Don Mattingly as a kid?
Oh, man, I've said this before. Like, you know, 8-year-old me is like doing cartwheels right now. I don't know, man. Donnie was my favorite player growing up. Growing up in New Jersey and being a Yankee fan, which I can say now, right? But never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be cruising into my first World Series along with Donnie in his first World Series in any capacity. So our relationship over the past 3 years has grown so much, and he's meant a lot to me. So I think, if you were to tell me, I said this when I hired him, if you're going to tell me I'm going to be the manager of the big league team that I've only known and I'm going to go ahead and hire Donnie as my first hire, you're kind of like, what are you doing? You know, what's this little fat kid from New Jersey doing? You know what I mean? So it's cool. I'm thrilled that he can be here in his first World Series with me and this team. But I didn't expect it to be like that. When you go to games watching number 23, you know, hit 300 every year, you didn't think that he'd be in this spot with them.
And I sometimes am confused because I don't cover baseball on a regular basis. Tell me what he does to help the players. Is there one example you can tell me during the season where you saw something he did that really helped one of your players?
It's funny. He can do a lot because he's done a lot. You know, it could be looking at someone's swing and offering a piece of advice. It could be a game situation that he's already been through. You know, I remember he's talked to me about when he was managing here. He still has nightmares. I think he said he gave Corey Seager the 3-0 green light and a pitch he swung out of the zone or something like. He's done a lot, you know. So we share those stories. But what he's done this year in terms of helping prepare the guys has been elite, you know, in terms of how we deploy our roster and to keep guys ready for any situation that I may ask them to go into. So his way of communicating it, I think, is different than others because of his experience.
We'll finish up with Gabe on your right.
Hey, John. You guys played really well without Bo, and a lot of players played really well in enhanced roles in that time. Now that he's back on a night like tonight, he's batting cleanup. You can slide a guy like Alejandro down to 6. I mean, do you feel like you're kind of enjoying the best of both worlds at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Bo's been a big part of our team for the last 5-6 years, you know, and he was a huge part of it this year in terms of offensive production and posting and playing every day. So it is nice, you know. You kind of when you're just playing, you know what I mean. You kind of, not that you forget about guys that are hurt, but you're kind of just doing what you're doing with who you have. So I think to have him back, for one, I'm thrilled for him, you know, to have this opportunity to compete in the World Series. This is exactly what he lives for. And for us as a team, yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? You always want to have kind of the best version of how you're built, you know, when you're playing in the most important time.
All right, Giants. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you later. Mookie Betts will be down at 3 o'clock, along with Commissioner Manfred and members of the Clemente family in Capital One. Mookie's the recipient of the Clemente Award, so he will be down in about 15 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Sierra Santos with MLB Network, and it is my honor to welcome you all to the official trophy presentation of Major League Baseball's most prestigious individual player award, the Roberto Clemente Award, presented by Capital One. The Roberto Clemente Award pays tribute to the late Hall of Famer's legacy by recognizing a Major League player who best represents the game through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropic excellence, and positive contributions on and off the field. MLB has been recognizing Major League players for their philanthropic work since 1971. The special recognition was named the Roberto Clemente Award in 1973 to immortalize the 15-time All-Star after he was tragically lost in a plane crash on New Year's Eve, 1972, on his way to deliver supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua. Roberto's humanitarian spirit continues through his tremendous generosity and community work demonstrated by Major League players around our country and the world. Tonight is a celebration of his philanthropic legacy that grows stronger among players year after year. To announce this year's winner, please welcome Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking Capital One for their ongoing support of the Roberto Clemente Award. As Sierra said, we regard this to be the highest award that can be given to a Major League player. I was thinking about what to say today, and the first thing I usually do is talk about somebody's on-field accomplishments, but talking about how Mookie Betts plays the game on the field in Los Angeles seems like we've already covered that topic, but he's obviously a great offensive player, a winner of the Most Valuable Player Award, and I think the most impressive thing this year to move to shortstop full-time and be a Gold Glove finalist is really a tribute to what a great athlete Mookie is. In addition to his play on the field, Mookie has been an unbelievable ambassador for our game. A couple of years ago, when the Dodgers were not in the World Series, Mookie got together with Fox, provided some commentary during the World Series. He has devoted endless hours to working with us to make the All MLB Awards the best show it could possibly be, all in the interest of making our game better and growing our game. But maybe the most important when you talk about on-field, trying to grow the game and give back, is the community work that Mookie has done really throughout his career. You were, in case you don't know, an overwhelming choice in this vote. But I don't want to leave anything out. Mookie and Brianna were active in terms of supporting victims of the Los Angeles fires. They've been active in fighting hunger and homelessness here in Los Angeles. He donated youth sports equipment and funded a youth baseball tournament and sponsored youth teams in his hometown of Nashville. I didn't know until I got this. You were from Nashville, but there you go. Promoted the importance of education and financial literacy to young people. He was an ambassador to African American youth by engaging directly with them on Jackie Robinson Day and as part of our programming, and in Club Cultural Heritage Night. He brought numerous underserved youth to Dodgers games here at Dodger Stadium and has been active in visiting young people with health issues. When you play 162 times in 186 days, I don't know quite how you have time to do all that, but Mookie, you're a tribute to our game, and this is a well-deserved award. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Manfred. Roberto Clemente's incredible legacy lives on, thanks in part to our next speaker. It's my pleasure to introduce, two of Roberto's three sons are here, but Luis, I'd love for you to say a few words.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. We look forward to this day every single year, every single season. And I was going to add to what Mr. Commissioner said, but I don't think it's necessary. He covered all the aspects of what gives the accolades for Mookie to have been chosen the 2025 Roberto Clemente Award recipient. But I also understand the efforts that the wives put together, as Mom did with Dad. So Brianna, also congratulations, because you're very much part of this as well. Here with us today is my brother, Roberto Enrique. Not many people will get to see him because he doesn't like to travel much, but thanks to this trip, he says, you know what, this is the furthest I've gone, and I will continue now to travel. So this is all for you, Mookie, and we thank you. We've been providing a Oris watch for all Clemente Award recipients. You will be getting yours with the date of 2025, announcing which day you won the award. So thank you so much. Welcome to the Clemente family of inductees.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Luis. In 2022, Capital One became the presenting sponsor of not only the Roberto Clemente Award, but also Roberto Clemente Day. To speak on behalf, please welcome Executive Vice President and Head of External Affairs for Capital One, Andy Navarrete.
Thank you, and Commissioner, thank you for hosting us. Luis, Roberto, and now I got to meet Enrique. So all three brothers, just incredibly honored and excited to be part of this event every year. And it feels full circle. The first time we did this was honoring another Dodger, an ex-Red Sox, Justin Turner. So kind of wonderful to be able to come back to honor Mookie Betts, whose just achievements on and off the field are really extraordinary. Giving back to the community is really at the heart of Capital One's mission, and so the opportunity to provide a fitting stage for this award has been something that was very much a priority of our sponsorship, and so we're thrilled to be able to give it the recognition that it deserves. 4 years ago, I was able to tell a story of my father's personal connection to Roberto Clemente, not only his favorite player, but they were two men born a few months apart in neighboring islands, and both happened to be in Nicaragua right before the earthquake. And my father, inspired about your father's legacy, returned shortly after to provide humanitarian aid as well. And so for me and my brother who's here today, it's just an incredible honor to be able to be here on the dais. 2 weeks ago, I was speaking at an event here in LA on Latino youth and sports, and one of the questions that was raised is how we can encourage Latino youth to be more involved in sports and all the possibilities that it can create. And the answer from the state athletic commissioner was, we need to teach them about Clemente. And so the just legacy and the importance of your father's work and your work has just never been more relevant today. One person who very much does not need an education in that area is Mookie Betts. Mookie, I was just wowed by your nomination and voted for you last year, full disclosure as well. But glad to see you joining here. When I told my friends from Boston, by the way, that I was presenting this award, they all clamored for tickets. Mind you, not to the game, to this press conference. And I just marvel at the fact that how good a person do you have to be to leave Boston in the prime of your career and still be beloved by Red Sox fans. But every single one of them was just so excited to see you honored in this way. As Luis mentioned, so much of what is important is family. And one of the things that really struck me about your work with the 50/50 Foundation was that it's a family affair. Brianna, you're the driving force behind it, your cousin Unique, and so sort of reading about the parallels between that and how the Clemente family has advanced their legacy was just a very moving opportunity. We know that you're focused right now on Game 3, and incredible that you're here with us, but we can't wait to see where you and Brianna take your work next. So congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
Mookie, tonight you join the illustrious names of those who have received this prestigious honor. The floor is yours.
Let me do that. So thank you guys for the votes, whoever voted. Thank you. I don't know how it kind of works. But first, I want to thank God just for giving me the platform to give back to all kids. It doesn't matter, grown-ups, whoever. I want to thank my parents. My mom's here, dad's at home, but my parents for raising a good kid. You guys did a good job. gave me a lot of morals and values, and that's why I'm able to sit here today with this award. I want to thank Unique, who is the CEO of 50/50 Foundation. I remember last year when we were nominated and we lost, and I remember after that telling her, like, no, I want to win this award. I want to win. Like, I'm not used to losing, so I wanted to win this, and so thank you, Neek. And then obviously my beautiful wife, she's been with me every step of the way, and when we're going to give food to the homeless in the middle of the night or to schools or whoever, she's always by my side, so thank you. I feel like I'm a part of the Puerto Rican family now. Kike came and said something. Cora texted me and said I'm Rican now. So, but being able to put on number 21 and knowing all that he did and what his family still does is just a blessing. So I thank you guys.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mookie. Congratulations. I'm going to open the floor up now for some questions. We ask that all line of questioning remain specifically on this recognition and Mookie's philanthropic work.
Hey, Mookie, congratulations to you and your wife. What does it mean for you just to be an inspiration to kids from our community as well as communities of color when they see you not just talk it, but you and your wife walk it, especially all the philanthropic things that you do with the 50/50 Foundation and all around?
It means a lot. Life is about more than kind of what you do. I think as far as work, it's about, kind of how you affect people. People always remember how you make them feel. And so I know we live by that. And so, when we come across people, you always make them smile, do what you can to help them. And the Lord blesses you, and so that's kind of what we care about. We just want to be a good example for all the kids growing up and to know that they can do it, no matter what.
You have the mic.
Mookie, congratulations. This has been a tremendous year for you. You've had many tremendous years in your career. Does this make it the most rewarding year of your career?
Yeah, I would say so. Just being recognized for something like this is it's really cool. We as a family, we don't really do a whole lot of things to be recognized for it. We just kind of do it out of the goodness of our hearts. But to be recognized is really nice, and especially after this year, going through all that I went through, the changes of moving and not playing very well, just to know that my on-the-field things are irrelevant to this. You can still be successful and maybe not in a way that you didn't know. It's really cool. It's really cool just to be able to hold up this award and to know that this had nothing to do with baseball.
Mookie. Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have two questions. If Roberto Clemente were here today, what would you want to ask him? And if there's a moment in your community work that you'll never forget, something that stayed with you, what was it?
I don't know what I would ask him. It would probably be something baseball related. Just 'cause he was so good at everything on the field. So, yeah, definitely something baseball related. And I just remember a few kids, going to the hospital and you see some terminally ill kids. It's really hard. It's really hard. And then, seeing them come to the game and one throughout the first pitch this year. Just kind of seeing the smiles and the laughs and the jokes and really getting a new perspective on life, I think is really rewarding, and I love it. I really love, and I'll always remember all those smiles and all these kids that you kind of affect, and all you have to do is just go visit. That's all you have to do.
Mookie, congratulations here.
Oh, there you go.
What do you know about Clemente's legacy and how special it is to get the recognition also from his family, and how much you're looking forward to maybe whenever you go to talk to kids or whatever activity you do with your foundation or whatever, to kind of spread the message and his legacy as well now with you being a recipient?
Yeah, I don't know much about his legacy on the field, honestly. I just know, obviously, he had 3,000 hits and 15-time All-Star and all those type of things. But I know mostly about all the work that he did off the field, all the lives that he affected, the way he passed. I mean, that's, kind of crazy as it is. And so, if you have an award named after you, that means you're very heavily involved in the community and you affect a lot of people. And for me, it's just trying to do the same thing, just affect a lot of people in a positive way. My wife affect a lot of people in a positive way, and just give kids opportunities that they may not have. And not everybody's going to be in the big leagues, but some people can be lawyers, teachers, whatever it is. And we just want to provide options, for kids, because you never know what you're going to do.
I want to get it to somebody who is also nominated. Lawrence?
What's up, Mook? Congratulations. You have a beautiful family, even though I feel like I should have won it. You got any advice for, a young player in this game, trying to get to where you at today?
Yeah, man. It's just going to take a lot of work, which is obvious. But you really have to be in the right mental headspace all the time. The right mental headspace all the time, because opportunities come and go. But you'll miss them if you're in the bad headspace, meaning upset, mad, umpire called a bad pitch, you took a bad swing, whatever it is, right? You just have to stay in the right headspace, man, and that's one to just calm and be aware of what's going on, but just live moment by moment, man. I had this year was the biggest teacher for me, just to live moment by moment, and usually when you do, a lot of moments come that you really don't know, and when they come, you just got to be ready for it.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mookie, when you got to the Dodgers, you show up in a new city, you want to get involved. I'm sure there's many worthy things you considered. What did you determine in terms of, this is the first big impact that I'm going to make, and why did you want that to be the first big initiative?
Whew. Man, that was so long ago. I don't even remember when we got here. Yeah, it was during COVID. I kind of don't even remember what we did when we first got here. I remember it was COVID, and I remember there was a lot of homeless people that lived close to where we lived. And I remember many nights, me and Bree going to drop off food, but nobody ever know. We're not doing that for press or anything. But I just remember that was kind of the beginning of us kind of getting involved in the community, and then, kind of we were doing things in Boston as well, so we just took the same blueprint and came to LA, and it just kind of got bigger and bigger, and then we created this foundation and got Unique involved, which she had a day job, and so she still does her day job and this, which is amazing. She's really, really busy, and so we got a couple board members here, my homeboys in 6th grade, so it's all a huge family thing, and they're out there giving away food to homeless as well, doing the turkey drives and all these type of things. And so we didn't have one thing in specific. It was just something that we love to do.
Can we get the mic right here to Ron?
Mookie and Brianna, how, even going back to Boston throughout all this, do you determine which projects are closest to your heart and to become involved with?
That's a great question. We go off of our feel and joy and seeing the kids. I wouldn't say we have requirements, of course, but we go off of what we feel in the community when we're in that space and taking that moment in, and we feel things from the kids and they ask us questions and they're involved, and that makes us want to get involved. So we actually let them speak to us as well. So it's like a two-way street. We're here for them and they're here for us as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's going to conclude this press conference. Congratulations, Mookie. And we're going to step up for some pictures real quick, and then we'll let you go. I promise we'll let you go.
All right. Thank you, guys.
roll that one. Unique.
Okay.
We're going to get started momentarily with Shane Bieber of the Blue Jays. He should be here in about 2 minutes.
That's about right.
Did you see this mic fix?
Yeah.
Folks, we're going to get started with Shane Bieber, who is here. So if we could just make way, that would be awesome. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to get started with Shane's press conference. If we could just clear the middle, if everybody can grab a seat. All right, if you have a question for Shane, just raise your hand and we will get you the microphone. Who's got the first question for Shane? We'll start in the 5th row on Shane's right.
Hi, Shane. What's your perspective been on the challenge of joining a new team mid-season, new clubhouse, getting acclimated, and then you're reaching the point where you're able to, about to start a World Series game?
Yeah, obviously the first time I've ever been traded, so I didn't know exactly what to expect, but ultimately I feel like the organization, the families within it, my teammates, their families have helped my wife and I accommodate better than ever expected. It's been an absolute pleasure, and so I feel like a lot of credit has to go to the Toronto Blue Jays and how easy they made that move, especially just going from being in Cleveland for the last 9 years and working my way back to the major leagues post Tommy John and having all that happen at the end of, July. And, it was a whirlwind. But looking back, they made it as easy as possible, and now we find ourselves in the World Series. I couldn't be happier.
Any teammates or coaches in particular that really kind of helped you, hit the ground?
All of them. Obviously, there's a lot of former Cleveland guys that I've played with in the past, and so that part of it made it pretty easy and smooth of a transition, having already known a good handful of guys and even some of the medical and training staff. So, but all things considered, everybody's been fantastic.
I'll go to Ron right up front, Shane.
How much of the rehab was a straight line of steady improvement, and how much was a series of ups and downs, and were those discouraging?
Yeah, for me, I'm very grateful for my path. I feel like it was very steady and straightforward until I made my first rehab start in, the end of May, maybe? Yeah, the end of May, and got headed out to Cleveland. Didn't respond to the travel very well, and like my first 3-inning outing, and so had to take a little bit of time off. But in speaking with, the medical staff in Cleveland and most specifically Dr. Keith Meister in Texas, he was like, hey, it's very rare for anybody to not have any sort of hiccup. So, this was probably always going to happen, and your body's just telling you it needs a couple days off, and was able to get back on track after that. And ultimately, when looking at my rehab, all encompassing, I'm very grateful for how smooth it's been.
Before you started the minor league assignment, where did you do most of the rehab? In Goodyear?
Yeah, in Goodyear. Last year I was, traveling probably once a month to see the guys either in Cleveland or when they were on the road, and I was with them during their playoff push as well. And so, that was important to me to be able to be with the guys. But at the same time, right when I got surgery, the team medical staff is like, hey, we send our Tommy John guys to Goodyear. That's where you're going to get the best care and the best hands-on each and every day.
As you were alone rehabbing in Goodyear with a lot of rookie league guys, did you think something like this was possible a year later, or was it just a lonely, discouraging experience?
No, it wasn't lonely and discouraging. I was hopeful, definitely. Like I said, I was with the team, the Cleveland team during their playoff run last year, and so it's bittersweet. It's hard as an athlete to not be able to contribute, and so I was hoping for moments like this, a year later, and sure enough, here I find myself.
About 7 rows back on your right, Jeff.
Shane, being from Orange County, what does it mean to you to pitch on this stage here in Southern California, and what's it been like with friends, family members, ticket requests, all that kind of thing?
It's fantastic. Growing up not too far from here, stepping off the plane, albeit it was like 4 a.m., I was a little bit loud about it, like, oh, doesn't this just feel great? Guys weren't so happy about that, but very, very fun to be back here with friends, with family. It's a very familiar place.
Other questions for Shane? Ron?
Looking at the other guy pitching tomorrow night, are you somewhat astounded when he finishes pitching the mound and then could be leading off the inning against you?
Yeah, you don't see that too often, right? So I don't know what my perspective will be. I probably won't even, see him doing his change from the fielding glove to batting gloves. But regardless, I'm focused on their lineup and what I can do to navigate it time and time again. So excited for the opportunity.
You have sort of a unique position. You look at him only as a hitter since you're just attacking his strike zone and not really worried about his pitching.
Yeah, you worry about what's in front of you, and for me, the hitters will have a great game plan going against him as a pitcher, and I'm going to game plan against him as a hitter.
About 5 rows back, Shane, Rowan.
I know you're probably not thinking about any of this right now, but a lot was made of the Dodgers spending. You're now on a team that has a very high payroll as well. When you hear stuff about it's ruining baseball or comments like that, what's just kind of your reaction to that?
Yeah, not thinking about it too much. I think you kind of hit on the head there. We're very focused on what's in front of us, and that's collecting 3 more wins. I know there's a lot of discourse about, the state of the game right now and payrolls high and low. I think we'll worry about that a little bit more in the offseason.
Other questions for Shane? All right, Shane, thanks for
Thanks,
your
y'all.
time. Appreciate it. And that concludes today's pregame.